We believe that he's not doing that, and as the commander-in-chief, we want to hold him accountable for the things that he's done or not done.
At least one Arizona congressman said he wants to let the investigation play out. Democratic Representative Greg Stinn said he will not comment until articles of impeachment are presented next month. Even though the first phase has concluded, lawmakers say they still have a long journey ahead of them.
Know what to expect because it's in the Democrat control. I'm anticipating I'm not going to have any Christmas vacation except for Christmas Day itself.
In Washington, Heather Cumberledge, Cronkite News.
Right now, the Department of Homeland Security is preparing to expand its migrant protection protocols policy to Tucson. DHS estimates roughly one busload of migrants seeking asylum will be sent to El Paso, Texas every day. They would then be sent to Ciudad Juarez. The expansion is part of the Trump administration's controversial Remain in Mexico policy, which makes asylum seekers wait out the process in Mexico regardless of their national origin. Activists argue this policy forces some asylum seekers who are fleeing dangerous conditions back into the environment they're trying to escape. When it comes to learning languages, not many schools offer courses in the native tongue. But as reporter Andrew Christensen reports, the Salt River schools have found a way to preserve native languages and teach culture in class. Andrew?
During my visit to Salt River schools, I learned that the middle school and high school students are celebrating their heritage by immersing themselves in the daily activities of their ancestors.
A bell ringing signifies the start of another class. For the students in this classroom at Salt River Schools, it's the start of their native language and culture class, a celebration of their heritage.
It helps build their sense of identity because most of our students have been told like language is important, you need to know it, but the reality of it is they don't always have the outlets to learn from.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are 350 spoken languages in the U.S. Out of those, 150 are native North American languages. One of those is the Autism language, which representatives from the Salt River schools say isn't widely spoken in the community. That's why it is a requirement for 7th graders and has been implemented in pre-K through 12th grade. The program is headed by a language and culture team. Their goal? To have students know a few hundred words by the end of their high school career.
A lot of the times it's written by people who were not part of the culture, and very few times you actually get somebody who's actually from the culture writing about it, or even having a say of what's going to be written. So with this class, it's always you have somebody who's researched it and also who's actually done it themselves.
Students also learn how to weave baskets in addition to learning how to use a loom, make sashes, and copying traditional petroglyphs, skills their ancestors used to display their culture.
We're weaving like them, we're just building like them, and we're basically learning how their life was, but doing it present.
Some students hope to pass on the traditions of their tribe, to uphold their heritage.
Something that I feel would be nice for other people in the future to learn, so our tribe doesn't really go extinct or just disappear.
The cultural program also teaches students how to harvest indigenous plants in a garden on campus. In the control room, Andrew Christensen, Cronkite News.
A big change is coming soon with Arizonans with medical marijuana cards. The Arizona Department of Health Services says starting December 1st, the cards will be issued digitally. It's to make things easier for medical marijuana patients, especially those who need to change their information quickly. Instead of a physical card sent in the mail, patients will receive a PDF file with their ID on it in their email. Those who prefer a physical card can just print out a copy of their digital ID.
The number of high school students in Arizona experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety is 5% higher than the national average.
But one Valley school has found a way to try and keep its students feeling positive. Tyon Marshburn shows us what they're doing.
Students at North Canyon High School are finding after-school activities help them in many ways.
I come here to clear my mind, and whenever I'm on the field, I just forget about everything else, and I'm just stress-free.
According to the Department of Health and Human Services, 36% of adolescents in Arizona reported feeling sad or hopeless almost every day for 2 or more weeks in a row. North Canyon High School wants to avoid that.
It's sad, and hopefully we can get more people to participate in other things to where they can relieve stress and know that somebody's there for them.
North Canyon is a Title I school, which means a large number of the children who attend come from low-income families. About 55% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch. For some of these students, playing soccer is more than just a game.
Primarily, like initially, it's keeping them from doing a lot of stuff outside of school, like getting into trouble. But it sets goals for them, it gives them things to work hard at, it gives them a community, provides a positive culture. Go! Let's go, push yourselves.
And if I wasn't in it, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'd still go to school, but I'm pretty sure my grades wouldn't be as good as they are now. I see myself in them, and I think it's a good thing, you know, that I'm back here helping out and watching them grow.
According to health authorities, extracurricular activities like soccer not only help with your physical and mental, but also in other areas.
It helps them work for something and believe in something, so it does a lot for their mental health.
In Phoenix, Tyon Marshburn, Cronkite News.
According to the nonprofit group Mental Health America, Arizona is ranked 30th in the country for access to youth mental health care.
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in northern Arizona, and you know what that means. Arizona Snowbowl is open for business.
Here's a live look from the ski resort of its first visitors enjoying the beautiful wintry scene thanks to the nearly 2 feet of snow that fell there this week.
That is certainly beautiful. I want to go. You know, we have snow up north, we have rain down here. What can we expect, Jake, in this next week?
Well, Annika, it looks like things will be drying out mostly. As you can see across Arizona right now, temperatures are pretty comfortable in central and southern Arizona, hovering around the mid-60s. Of course, as we saw up in Snowbowl, temperatures are a little colder in the 30s over in Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon. For those of you with Friday night plans, we're of course going to expect temperatures to be dropping after sunset, a little after 5. It won't be dropping as dramatically as we usually see, but it'll head down to 56 degrees. That's enough to wear a jacket, I'd say, but you know, not too bad, of course. And of course, if you're planning on driving anywhere, up to Flagstaff, maybe seeing Snowbowl, it will be 43 degrees tomorrow, and in the other southern parts in California and Arizona, it will be a comfortable 70 degrees across most of these areas as well. We'll see a lot of colder temperatures up in the mountains. And finally, for highs tomorrow in the valleys, it looks like we'll stay right around 70 degrees, 69 in Tempe, Mesa, Glendale, but you know, all in all, just around 70 degrees, great weather. Get out there and enjoy it. And that weather will be lasting us most of the weekend and into next week. However, look here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are predicting a little bit chances for more rain, so I'd keep an eye on that if I were you guys. Back to you.
Coming up next, Cronkite News and Review.
We take a look back at some of our top stories from earlier this week. Drama over impeachment.
And Thanksgiving is just around the corner, but as the holiday season arrives, so do certain challenges for children with autism. After the break, see how families are dealing with common triggers their kids face during the festivities.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
With wildfires, a scarcity of water, and other environmental issues facing the Earth today, it's critical to stay up to date with local impacts of a changing climate. That's why we created Elemental, covering sustainability, a multimedia collaboration between public television and radio stations. From climate change to water conservation to renewable energy and much more, Elemental covers the latest in sustainability news. Find our stories on our website, elementalreports.com.
Then I stumbled across the kids programs and I fell in love with Author. I used to be a school teacher. Some of my classes I taught were K through 6. I liked Author's approach to how you would teach a moral or how to teach a way to react to a situation. And they always had a moral of the story. So I still watch Author quite religiously.
For more information about including Arizona PBS in your future plans, visit azpbs.org/giving. On the next Arizona Horizon, the Journalists Roundtable makes way for a discussion on the political fallout from the House Public Impeachment Inquiry and the impact on Arizona Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. It's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, 2 more witnesses shed light on the pressure campaign on Ukraine for investigations. Coming up after Cronkite News and Arizona Horizon on Arizona PBS.
While White House officials were the focus of this week's testimony, another highlight of the hearing so far has been the testimony of American diplomats.
They don't normally take part in partisan Washington battles, as Brian Peach tells us from our D.C. bureau.
One diplomat we spoke to today said that for diplomats like Kurt Volker, the former special envoy to Ukraine, today's testimony signifies a change from answering to the president to answering questions about the president. Diplomats usually operate in the background, not in the spotlight, says Ambassador Edward O'Donnell.
We are there to represent those views of the president, and so there are, in many areas, they're subject for interpretation, and that's what we're there for.
But diplomats like Volker and former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, have been front and center in the impeachment hearings. Yovanovitch testified Friday about being abruptly removed from her post after President Donald Trump told the Ukrainian president that she was, quote, bad news, and that she was, quote, going to go through some things. Democrats say it was purely political, but the president's defenders were quick to point out that he has authority to oust an ambassador whenever he chooses. O'Donnell, who served under Republicans and Democrats, agrees.
As a representative of the president, we are there to explain U.S. foreign policy, not our personal views, the policies of that administration.
Volker was the director of the McCain Institute at Arizona State University until his closed-door testimony on Trump's dealings with Ukraine made him a focus of the probe. O'Donnell defended Volker, who is still on the payroll at ASU.
So I have a high regard for Kurt as a character-driven leader. He worked for Senator McCain up on Capitol Hill and other times running the McCain Institute.
O'Donnell, who spent 33 years as a diplomat in Latin America and Europe, said the hearings have helped put the spotlight on important work that often goes unseen.
They are out there doing their job, whether it's helping a businessman export or meeting with a victim of a human rights violation, representing American interest. And they're very brave people out.
And Volker is about 4 hours into his testimony. In his 9-page opening statement, Volker described President Trump's discussions with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and described what he called the critical importance of Ukraine to stopping Russian aggression. In Washington, Brian Peach, Cronkite News.
Arizona Republican Senator Heather Carter says she'll take another shot at trying to convince the legislature to toughen up on smoking and vaping. She plans to introduce a new bill classifying vaping products as tobacco, limiting use to strictly outdoors. The bill would also raise the buying age of tobacco and vaping products from 18 to 21.
While some lawmakers are looking to get tough on vaping, others are looking to go easy on marijuana, calling the 1970s-era war on drugs a failure.
A House committee Wednesday gave preliminary approval to a bill that would decriminalize pot nationwide. Heather Comberlidge has the story from our Washington bureau.
The Marijuana Opportunity and Reinvestment Expungement Act would do more than just decriminalize marijuana. It would also erase many pot convictions from the last 5 decades and award grants to newly legal cannabis businesses. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler, who sponsored the bill, says it is long past time to fix the law.
I long believe that the criminalization of marijuana has been a mistake. And the racially disparate enforcement of marijuana laws has only compounded this mistake with serious consequences, particularly for minority communities.
Nicknamed the MORE Act, the bill is believed to be the most comprehensive marijuana reform legislation to pass a congressional committee. It would remove cannabis from the DEA's list of Schedule I narcotics and expunge marijuana convictions as far back as 1971, when President Nixon started the war on drugs. The bill would also direct investment into those communities that were hit hard by the war on drugs, primarily minority communities. Republicans on the committee complained that the bill was being shoved through with little opportunity for debate or amendment.
Change, or do you want some more rhetoric? And if you want rhetoric, you get it. If you want change, then we actually need to have a process where
put everything out, take this bill, and actually talk about it.
The bill also includes a tax on cannabis products that would be used to fund job training, prisoner re-entry services, as well as literacy and substance abuse treatment programs. Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado warned that the bill was too big to get through the Senate. He called for it to be scaled back.
The nice thing about the Senate is they will do nothing. Very efficient, but they will do nothing. And when it comes to a bill like this, they will not address it. I would love to work with the chair. I'd love to have my staff work with the Judiciary Committee staff on at least moving some parts of this marijuana issue.
The bill has 57 co-sponsors, including Arizona Democratic Representatives Raul Grijalva of Tucson and Ruben Gallego of Phoenix. It passed the committee easily on a largely partisan 24-10 vote. The Arizona Democrat Greg Stanton voting for it and Arizona Republican Debbie Lesko voting against it. Louisiana Democratic Representative Cedric Richmond called it an important first step.
Those of us that were in those communities when the failed war on drugs started, we know the damage that was done. And we know that the many collateral consequences that people face because of it.
No floor vote has been scheduled, but lawmakers on the committee said they expect the MORE Act will pass the Democrat-controlled House by a largely partisan vote. But it faces a much tougher road in the Senate. In Washington, Heather Cumberledge, Cronkite News.
A verdict was reached this week in the retrial of Arizona activist Scott Warren, who was accused of harboring illegal immigrants in 2018.
Jurors found Warren not guilty after authorities said he hid 2 men in Ajo, Arizona. Warren is a volunteer with the group No More Deaths, which leaves food and water along trails throughout the desert for migrants making the often dangerous trek into the country.
After the verdict, Warren's attorney spoke about the case's broader impact.
Humanitarian aid is not always a crime the way the government wanted it to be. Instead, they decided that humanitarian aid is virtually never a crime.
No More Deaths says its volunteers have placed over 12,000 gallons of water throughout the Arizona desert this year alone.
Across the U.S., about 1 in 59 children have been diagnosed with some form of autism spectrum disorder. And the holidays can be an especially challenging time for them and their families.
Cronkite News reporter Quentin Walker gives us a little perspective on what it's like to handle these hardships and come out triumphant.
Autism spectrum disorder is a developmental disability that can affect how someone communicates and interacts with their surroundings. According to the Autism Society, sensory sensitivities are one of the hallmarks of the disorder. That means holiday activities and even decorations like Christmas lights and music can be overwhelming. I sat down with one Valley mother and her son to see how they prepare for the holiday season. Meet Connor. This unique 9.5-year-old likes cars, baseball, and Mickey Mouse.
You're gonna cheat? Yes.
What also makes Connor unique is that he is nonverbal and has been diagnosed with autism.
He tries to express his feelings and his wants and his needs, and if we can't understand him, he gets very frustrated.
Because of his autism, holidays like Halloween and even Christmas can be difficult. Medical Director of the Center for Autism Research and Education, Sydney Schneider, explains every case is different.
The thing about autism is sometimes they're hypersensitive and sometimes they're hyposensitive to any given sensory input. So, for example, some children just crave light and others are just overwhelmed and find bright lights painful.
For Connor, sudden sights and sounds quickly become frightening, but with a little bit of persistence, even trick-or-treating is becoming more of a treat.
This year he kept wanting to go. He kept wanting to do more. He would point to the next house and he would point down the street and he'd point to the other side and want to cross over from one side of the house to the other.
His mother, Carrie, hopes other families will continue to have patience with her son and keep an open mind.
Relax, you're okay.
After all,
one more.
No two children are the same.
Nice job.
There's a saying in the community that if you've met one child with autism, you've met one child with autism, because they're all different.
Common triggers include grocery store bell ringers, loud music, and bright lights. Carrie and Connor have a routine of preparing ahead of any big holiday, doing a run-through of the day together. Live in the broadcast center, Quentin Walker, Cronkite News.
And finally tonight, for a family in Arizona, what was supposed to be a dream come true quickly turned to heartbreak.
But thanks to the kindness of strangers, the dream they'd hoped for ended up becoming something magical. The Polar Express is Ty Swartout's favorite book and his favorite movie, so his parents were thrilled to take him to ride the train, but he has autism and got so excited and so overwhelmed he had a meltdown.
That's when the train's conductor came along and gave Ty his pocket watch. His mom says even though they didn't get on the train that day, they got something even more magical. The gift of human kindness.
And the conductor has since reached out to the family saying the Grand Canyon Railway wants them to come back on them so Ty can experience his dream of riding the Polar Express. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
I think great leaders